Hey guys, Age here. Welcome back. Playing Final Fantasy XIV. And first thing you'll notice is that I have changed classes. Yes, Final Fantasy lets you do that on the fly. Last time I was Sword Boy, which was Samurai. I would slash. And it's the same thing here. I'm slash, but it's now with a sight. I'm now called a class called Reaper. So, aesthetically, nice looking. It's a bit of a berserker class. Samurai was about building up momentum and rotating your big hits with big hit CDs, cooldowns, and keep them going. Reaper is about building up a gauge, well, two gauges, as you can see on the left in the center. The first gauge you build up is like a how should I put it? Blood gauge, I guess. Rage gauge. And then once it hits 50, you use it to put a buff on you, and then you use a special attack, and then that fills up the second gauge. So there's like build up rage, use buff, and then use special attacks, build up second gauge. And then when the second gauge gets to 50, you go into berserk mode and then do a bunch of attacks before it ends. You have 30 seconds in berserk mode, or 6 attacks, basically. So it's about building up your gauge fast, yourself going into mode as much as possible. But I find that in fights, the thing is, this class, if you concentrate way too much on your rotation to keep yourself in berserker stance, you're gonna die. Oh man, I die a lot with this class because I'm finding myself looking at my bars, trying to keep myself in burst gauge, and not looking at the boss as much. So, yeah, I'm not the perfect player, but I understand the basics of it. I'll show you a demonstration in a second, and then we'll start with the main quest, continue where we left off. I believe we were chasing a scantily class green woman, which is her. She's green because she's wind element. So I run up here. There are like striking dummies that are higher level class, like training dummies. These are level 50. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's somewhere that there's level 80 striking dummies, but I don't want to try and figure it out. I just remember where these are. So basically, like that. This is such a useless skill. It's like, yeah, you use it once at the start of the fight, and then it's like, well, it's kind of useless during the fight because out of combat, it's an instant cast. In combat, it's a long cast. It's like, you're not going to stand there and cast for a very long time. No. So it's like, out of combat, you use this skill. Oh, let me explain you about this, okay? Watch this. The boom. The boom. And watch this. Yeah. Boom. See, my second gauge is 50, and now watch. I go rah, 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 rah. And then I use flashy attack. That's 3 hits. That's 5. That's 6. And then you finish off with this. Whoa. And then you go back to building it again, the second gauge. So you just, what you do? Put special buff on, and then you use a special attack. That's the special attack. That, and then buff up again, and then special attack. You watch those 2 gauges, they're building up, right? Oh, that second gauge is at 40. skills. And a closer look at him. And that's how it works. Now, some special things about this class, and let me just get out of combat here. Remember that thing at the start? Can I do it again? Not yet. So what I'm talking about is... Where is it? They don't tell you this. Like, oh my god, man. I just figured this out. Like, I played Reaper class at the latest expansion. The entire latest expansion, I played Reaper class, and I didn't know this. They don't tell you this. It's like, yeah, they give you this skill called Plentiful Harvest. It does massive damage. And I'm like, oh, it's instant? Recast 2.5 seconds? I'm like, wow, man. It's a really powerful kill. And then at the bottom says, like, cannot be executed. No, it's just here. Oh, it gets more powerful if you get Immortal Sacrifice stacks. And you can... Immortal Sacrifice stacks. I'm like, okay, what ability gives you Immortal Sacrifice? So I'm like, where's this Immortal Sacrifice buff? I'm like, where? And they don't tell you. You get it from this ability, Arcane Circle. At first, I'm like, increased damage dealt by self and nearby party members by 3%. That's all I read at the first. When I first saw it, I'm like, okay, it's a damage buff. I use that to help the party members and things like that. I didn't read, like, way at the bottom there. It's Circle of Sacrifice effect. I'm like, oh my god. To use this skill, and then when other party members or you use attacks against the boss, you gain immortal stacks. I'm like, oh my god, I'm supposed to use this. And that gives me the stacks to use Plentiful Harvest. The game doesn't tell you that. Unless you actually sit down and read it, which a lot of people don't. They're like, oh, I gained a new ability, put it on the hotbar, see, and try to work it how it is. Like I said, so I'm like, oh, it's a buff. Jeez. Like, oh, God, I hated that. I thought it was just a buff. Like this. Crest. I'm like, first you get Arcane Crest, and then you get Arcane Circle. I'm like, oh, Arcane Crest is a small shield. I'm like, okay. Oh, Arcane Circle is a buff. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, you need to read that. Oh, God, I hated that. And this is a big skill, Plentiful Harvest, because that instantly gives you 50 of the second soul gauge, which is the second bar, which you can put immediately into Berserker stats at the start of battle. Anyways, that's how Reaper plays. Let's continue the adventure now. Alright, yeah, I'm still in battle. You have to run far away. They really increase the distance for the striking dummies. It's like, I gotta run all the way past the giant crystal just to get out of combat. Get out there, see? I haven't worked on my AoE rotation, just my single target, so I'm gonna suck at that. Just like with any game, the more you play, the better you get at it. Oh yeah. The reason why I geared my Reaper is because I was waiting for reset, but I didn't want to record anything, so I started to grind the 8-man raid, which got you tokens of armor, and then you trade that armor in for what I'm wearing now. So I'm like, oh, might as well. And for those of you, yes. This is Aranthos. It is for Monster Hunter, which is another game I love. when this content came out to get this Ranthos, I'm like, oh man, I went hard. That's all I did for an entire like 2 weeks. It was hard content then because you had to fight a big Ranthos, and he had no aggro table, so it was just like in Monster Hunter that he would randomly attack people. You had to learn his mechanics. Wait, wasn't it here? Wasn't it right there? Oh, it's in the opposite direction. I have to say, this game is really healthy. Like, as a DPS, now is the time to play, people. If you want to play DPS, you're worried about queue times? Oh my god, my queue time has always been less than 5 minutes the last couple days. I'm like, wow, man, like, there is no, oh, tanks get queues faster, or healers get queues faster. No, everyone gets queues faster now. The latest content? Ooh, man. Just went past it. Oh yeah. Today, man, today's not good at all. For one thing, I saw a mouse. I was literally sitting on the toilet, and it ran past my feet. Fuck, man. I come from another part of the country which was infested with mice, and I actually had to get used to cockroaches and mice crawling on your bed while you're trying to sleep and stuff. Oh god, I don't want to again. And then another thing is, I have no food. If you don't know, I'm disabled, and I'm trying to get on disability from the government. That's taking months. It's been about 5 months now trying to get that. And getting food has been really difficult. Yeah, there's like charity organizations called the Food Bank and stuff like that. Getting that takes weeks, and once you get it, it's random, right? And it basically you get what people don't want to use, or they screwed up buying it. Like I got zucchini noodles. I'm like, what the fudge am I supposed to do with zucchini noodles? Like, I have no idea how to cook this, and the things they give you, which is always pasta and tomato sauce. Not spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce. Like, and that's it. No meat, no vegetables, anything like that. And then cans of beans. I have galore stocked full in my cabinet. I'm like, oh god. Yes, and yes, I actually ate. I was so desperate. I actually ate some warmed beans. Just beans. Kidney beans. Because I was so desperate for something to eat. Ugh. The problem is that people don't buy meat. And meat's expensive here in Canada, and yeah, meats, they don't want to give that up. No one wants to give that up. And cheese, you know, and stuff. And then bread, sometimes they give me, but oh my god, when they give me bread, it's like some weird bread made from a bakery, and it's a massive bag. Like, oh my god, they gave me this bag, and it had like 30 or 40 buns in it. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to eat this before they all start going bad? Oh man. Man, what I wouldn't do for like Chef Boyardee and good canned soup. Let me tell you something, people. Never give someone plain tomato soup, alright? It's like a slap in the face. It's like the most basic thing that you can give someone. Alright, give them chicken noodle, give them beef with vegetables, or hell, oh my god, cream of mushroom. I love cream of mushroom now. Cream of mushroom with black pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder, and a can of tuna. Just simmer that for 5 minutes. Let that all melt and combine. That tastes good. Where am I going? Down there? I think so. Yeah. Let us be off. Do I? Oh. Wow, man, all these sparkle points, man. Barber Shisha, whatever. Scadly class green woman.
You're not the only ones who can ride the wind.
How would you fly? Reaper? I'm a Reaper. I can't do that. What am I doing? I'm doing nothing.
Leave these ones
I'm
to
literally
us.
doing nothing.
I see to Barbaricia.
What, is this a trial? I thought it was a dungeon. Oh my god. It's a trial. I thought it was a dungeon. Trials are big boss fights. Oh my god. This is it, right? We'll give it a few minutes to see if it pops. I doubt it. Because it's like 2 a.m. here. Barely anyone's on. Reminds me. Oh, God. Keyboard. says 5 minutes, right? Average wait time 5 minutes. Oh, what's the recording at? 8 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna stop here and then I'll start recording again.